and welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack, and today I'm joined by the lovely
Alex.
Man, pleasure, bro.
Mate,
wicked.
thanks for having me.
We are going to be checking out the Keylab controller series Mark II, right?
Mark II, yes.
And this is
Arturia.
your flagship offering in terms of. That's right. I'm using the right terms.
Everyone's got to have a flagship offering.
Yeah, flagship offering,
This
and
is
it looks sleek as hell. We've
Yeah.
got it out. We've got it set up, and today we wanted to just show and listen to the sounds of it.
Mess around, see what it is, and like hear it. Because it's like, okay, so this is a keyboard controller, and you know, who is this for? This is basically for anyone who writes music using a computer. So the Keylab is obviously what it looks like. It's a Midi controller. You've got lovely keys. This is actually, interestingly, the key bed that's used in the Matrix brute, like big sort of meaty,
To
expensive.
have a little twinkle on it, and it sounded, it felt really good.
Yeah.
Has it got all aftertouch and things like that? Cool, nice.
So it's like very, very high quality key bed. And obviously really, what you don't really get from a vid is like, it just feels really nice. It's an extremely well.
Yes, and you are objectively, it's a very posh bit of kit.
It's got like these nice like inset kind of wood cheeks on the end.
Yeah,
really
and
tasteful.
And these are solid. It comes in a black colour as well,
yeah.
which
so this is white. There is a black version.
And the black's very alluring.
It's like kind of matte black. It looks very like Batman.
Yeah.
Like Batman vibes.
Check that. I can imagine a lot of people going for the black.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a keyboard controller, and so you can, obviously you've got these faders, you've got these sliders, or faders are sliders, faders and knobs, and you've got banks of these. So we can use these to control other synths, but we can also control our DAW, or digital audio workstation. We have transport controls, and you've got pads. There's actually some really nice stuff that this does where it auto maps to like Ableton Live. You actually get Ableton Live with it, but we'll come to that. And in fact, you get these little, like, look at these little doofers. These are basically, like, so where's the one for life? So you see this, you basically, these are magnetic, they stick on, and there's ones for all major DAWs like Logic, Pro Tools, Reaper, and Studio One for Sonos, and then Live and Cubase as well. And so you stick these on, and these give you the proper namings. And even in Live, you actually see the clips here. So it's a very, very nice.
Oh, these are multi-coloured doodads.
These are like RGB pads. So you've got like a complete door controller. You've got a sort of knobby controller.
This is very elegant, by the way.
It is quite nice.
Yeah.
It's like,
Is it?
It's magnetic.
Is it magnetic?
Yeah, it sticks on.
Oh, that's posh. Because
So
before I used to think that was a bit of a cop out, but this is not a cop out.
Well, yeah, because you couldn't label it. You'd have to make a model for every DAW.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I like the fact that you're not super. I know you said you alluded to come Ableton, but it's the fact that you've covered all the bases there.
You get all the other ones with it. So
nice.
Okay, so it's a MIDI, really, really nicely engineered MIDI controller knobby thing, but the kind of the main point is that this also comes with a piece of software, which is I think kind of like the main event with this, and why this is unique. Because obviously there's lots of different keyboard controllers. You know, why would you consider this? Well, the Keylab comes with Analog Lab, and so what Analog Lab is a kind of, it's a compendium of every preset from all of Arturia's software instrument library. You know, and Arturia is this company that got started making like amazingly authentic, really amazingly like beautiful sounding recreations of classic vintage synths. So you had like, originally it was the Moog Modular, was like the company, like the product that launched their whole business.
Yeah.
And then they sort of grew it from there, and you've got things like the Jupiter 8, the SEM, the Oberheim Matrix 12, the Yamaha CS80, and then things like the DX7, they've got Fairlight, and then they've started doing like pianos, like really nice physical modelling pianos, Farfisa, Vox Continental, Rhodes piano, and basically, long story short, all kind of 21 of those instruments basically come with this. I say basically because it's you get access to all of the sounds in them, and it's the full engines running on this piece of software, which is what we have here. So this is Analog Lab, and so it's like all of those sounds.
It looks great. I haven't seen it for a few years.
Yeah. And basically then what you have is a really nicely integrated system where you see here, you can actually browse. So if you see I'm twiddling the little dial, and on the GUI it's actually updating. So you can sit in front of your computer. This is kind of, for me, like the whole beauty of this. You sit in front of your computer, and as part of the writing process, I think I love synths, and I love messing around with synths. Obviously, we've messed around with synths together before, and it's like, it's great, but I think it's really important to like recognise that the sound design and the writing process of creating music could and probably should be separate. And I know that's not always the case, because in electronic music, obviously, sound design is partly composition. It's part of the sound is the song as well. But I think I think we all do really well to think and almost separate those processes, and that's what makes this really strong, because you've got the ability to sort of, you can literally pick.
And we don't have to look behind. You know,
Yeah,
we've got it here.
You can see
it's,
it. It's like, and so you pick a type of sound, like a bass sound, and then you've got bass sound. So if I go here to like this, matrix roll, nice.
Great.
So we picked the sound here. It's running on the computer.
Yeah.
We didn't actually need to look at the computer to do it. But actually, I do like looking at the computer.
Oh, and it's a
because you can see it's literally just giving you fingertip control. So in the point being, you can load up as many instances of this software as you like in your DAW. So you can be like, the point is like, I need a bass sound. So you
That's
go
a really good point, actually.
bass. And then you go bass. You can also do it by category. So if I go here, I can kind of clear all the sounds. So I'll go like synth. And actually, what you can do, you can hide or expand these. I'm going to expand them out. So you can see on the software, you've got the option of picking types of instruments. So I go here, and then look, you can see, so Art 2600, or if I say I just want a bass sound, and then if I want to pick the style, like as in, I don't know the name of the preset I want, but I want this kind of sound.
And this is all here on the screen as well in a really cool way.
It's just, I mean, I find this easier in a way, so that I can just literally just look. And then you see I pick like dark bass sounds, or maybe I'll say funky dark, or not hard.
Yeah.
No, funky and dark.
Because you've got so many presets there.
Exactly. There's
you've
like
got a
six,
lovely
basically,
keyword system.
We didn't say there's 6,500 sounds in it.
Jeez Louise.
So you've got all these sounds, and I go, look, 4-up bass on the DX7. So then you've picking via category, which is very a musical way of doing it, a very musical way. Chessmate. Picking sounds, and then just getting the idea down. So it's like find a sound quickly, get the idea down. And I know that there's almost like that kind of sort of snobbish elitism in the whole like presets thing, where people are like, oh, you know, I create all my own sounds, and that's fine.
Yes.
I think what's really cool about this is just when it comes to the guts of getting the song down, is like get a sound quickly, play it, and then you then have control here, where the sound designer has basically mapped some of the key parameters of that sound to these faders, and you can actually click the drop down and change what they do. If I come over here,
but they're on your go-to ones already.
All the kind of obvious stuff, and they're actually named like Cut Off, which is named Brilliance on the CS80. You know, so that you can make some changes, but you're not digging too deeply into the interface at the point at which you should be writing music. And then you would load up another instance of Analog Lab and go, basically. And actually what is cool, if you, just getting back to that thing about when you're writing music, get the idea down. Actually, if you do own V Collection, which is the name of the, you know, that's all of the full...
Which is incredibly good value.
Yeah. And actually, if you
over
buy,
the years, it's come down.
And also, if you buy a Keylab, you get Arturia will do you a special price for V Collection too. So it's kind of an extra incentive. Right. And if you own V Collection, you can actually click here and open up the GUI, the full engine. Because just to say it is the full engine running in the background. It's not like a light version. It's like for the price of the keyboard, you're also getting access to the full engines of all of those instruments.
And the presets that come with it, but you can't physically grab the knobs.
Every control. You can physically grab the ones they've given you.
Which for a lot of people is going to be enough, but for the guys that want to delve in, maybe having that thought process at the beginning, because like you said, you save them money.
Yeah, and it's just, I just think it's that thing. It's like so important to just get music. Exactly, and it's really, and I think the thing that I want to, let's do this now.
Compared to a hardware synthesizer at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that's what I felt since you've plugged this in, is this integration, this simplicity. I like the simplicity of the screen. It's giving me all the information instead of, I've seen some other people trying to approach it by giving you more and more of the screen on the keyboard. Yeah. As an old school dude, I like the fact that...
Well, I think, and what they're sort of thinking here is that, you know, we are actually turned away from the screen. We can still use it. I actually think that they think that you are going to be looking at the GUI, and I prefer doing that. I like just doing it, because the point is I don't have to, if I've got hands on the keyboard, I don't then have to go over to the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, of course, man.
I can literally just keep your hands where you are, and then write and
it
play.
really is a beautiful keyboard.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's
you know, to get your hands on an action like this and a refined bit of hardware, there's just nothing comparable in the hardware side of things.
Yeah.
And when I say hardware, you know, with inbuilt sounds.
Classics. A lot of like super classic sounds in there as well. And I think that's what we should do, is mess around with some sounds. Like,
yeah, should we hear the thing?
Yeah, so I've got, I've been playing around with this.
And it, you know, it's very instant response. That was always my thing that put me off going full software, is the latency. And all those things have been overcome.
Yeah.
Now, we're in a beautiful golden age of
where everything's just like nice and
just works.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything to set up the analog lab thing.
No.
And if you want, what you can set up is going in and creating your own user banks of control. So for example, it's got proper MIDI outs. You could connect like you know, any sort of MIDI CC-able hardware synth and set up your own little map, and you can actually name all of the parts so that this will control like cut off and that will control resonance and stuff. You can do that, but if you're using the analog lab stuff, it's all just done for you. Okay. So I was thinking like, like what to play. And
you had a little fiddle and found some presets, and so we should hear some.
If I go into strings.
With your company, from the objective world of keyboard players, it's so highly regarded, the Arturia stuff. Well, any place where I go is of any worth, you know, studios or live guys using software, they're all using the stuff. So to be able to get in there is, at this price point, it's amazing.
Cool. So this is, it's called Air Strings. It's actually an ARP Selena running in the background. It's just a really nice, but with effects. There are obviously effects in this. You can also layer up the sounds, so really, it just sounds like super sort of cinematic. It's like a really hauntingly beautiful sound. As you can see, I'm a natural keyboardist, so let's play the black notes.
It's beautiful, and the effects, like you said, like how much you're getting.
They're kind of polished sounds. They're like done. That's again the other point. It's like you will. You know, you could use this as part of the writing process, but quite honestly, I would almost write using these sounds and just keep them as they are. Yeah. But you can completely go around and edit them and redo them, and I know that a lot of folks work that way.
So, DX7, glacial strings.
Really like pads on the DX7. Yeah, mate. Like DX pads just always rule. And you can actually hear like the fuzz, because it's modeled on the original DX7, so you actually get like the hiss in the background, which I genuinely love. So I'm sort of playing chords here. I'll show you the chord function, because this is, you know, as I'm like messing around with this thing, inevitably I'm just not very good at playing the keyboard. I'm not like you, I'm not don't have the kind of, but I can hear ideas, and I need the keyboard to help me out. So kind of two sort of sections here that are really good for that. Well, first one is transpose here, trans. What that literally does is just transpose the whole keyboard by an offset that you create. The way that it works is you just literally hold trans, and then you push a key to create, hold transpose and then push a key like this. So it creates like a 4 semitone offset from middle C. So it's now shifted the whole keyboard by 4 semitones. So now I can just kind of play just white notes, and it's a completely different scale. You know, really nice. So for people like me, you know, not very, very like keyboard choppy, I can still like explore different things. And then
I use it all the time when a singer wants to change key. I'm not gonna bother.
It's, like, it's actually like the Juno 60 has the same sort of same
Wicked.
Mode. And then chord is like a chord mode, and you basically hold the chord button and create intervals. You see, it's actually showing the chords on the screen. It starts to sound like Lego Welt. Really nice.
Can I give it a go?
Yeah. So you hold it down and create the intervals that you want. That's it. Up to 6 notes, basically. And then so try... Oh, that's a nice one. Oh yeah, sounds like 808 State. Like kind of old house record sort of vibe, which I totally, I'm a sucker for that stuff. So chord mode, and then you've got these pads here. Actually, interesting, the pads send MIDI information, and you can remap what they do.
Yeah.
Really, the pads are there for obviously playing drums through something. And
like you said, launching clips, maybe.
Velocity sensitive. Yeah, exactly right. So you can play soft and hard on them. But then this chord memory thing.
Do any drum bits? Did you get any drum bits in it?
You don't, unfortunately. No drum stuff. They have their own drum.
They do.
Like Spark.
Spark. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Chord memory. What this is instead of like doing that thing where we train the chord, it's actually kind of stored a chord for each one of the pads.
Yeah.
And if you hold chord and then the pad, I can sort of remap it. So I just played that one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's proper JV.
So, yeah, what you then do is set up a stack of like maybe your 4 chord progression. And
Taylor's going to go to church on that.
Oh, mate.
Jesus. Wicked.
So just if you want to like play a chord sequence, or kind of like for me, a lot
of people are looking at Ableton pushes and things like for that, and that's a lot of money.
Which is great
when you're getting something like this with all these sounds.
Yeah.
And you're still getting that functionality.
It's just I think that's a nice way of creating.
We're not looking at the computer, man.
Like I'm feeling out a chord progression. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then chord transpose is kind of the same thing, except when you push a button, you access a chord, and then you play it on here. So you have to basically go chord like this, create an interval, and then and then you can do the same thing on another pad. Probably I've now programmed the same chord.
So I dig you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you've basically stored a chord, and then you're playing it, and then you have another one, and then you're playing it. So it's a way of like exploring chords for people who maybe aren't really keyboardists.
And does that relate as well to but where you are amazing?
Yeah.
And every time you come in, I've got to plug it because I'm an avid watcher and listener. Alex has his own channel, Mylar Melodies.
That's it, yeah.
And you've got a podcast.
Why We Bleep.
Why We Bleep,
Why
man.
do we
and
bleep?
When's it out? What time?
Monthly, if possible.
Yeah, and it's really, you cover loads of ground.
Thanks, man.
And it's...
well, it's about... the writing process is sort of what we were talking about. That's kind of one of the things I'm most fascinated about, is like ways to write music more easily.
And for you, as a modular dude, I know that we're going to look
important point.
At the back, we've got all these CV input.
Yeah,
does that chord memory work out of there as well?
Unfortunately not, no.
Right.
But you have got CV outs, so you can use this as a modular controller, so you could stick this in front of your modular and play it properly with a keyboard. Plus you've got like aftertouch that sends CV. But very, very interestingly for us modular nerds, is the opposite is also possible. You've got inputs on this too. So you can actually send CV into the Keylab and convert it into Midi. So you could have like a sequencer in the modular controlling a piece of software, like controlling software, or like a weird LFO or complex envelope generator or something coming in and going to software. So it's, which I think in many ways is a much more interesting thing. Is like, what are the wonderful ways that I can control my computer using the stuff that modular can do? And the Keylab's like a bridge.
Is that with the rise that I've seen recently, because I'm trying to figure out more about modular work, you've got some software alternatives to modules as well.
Yeah.
Would that work so you could like control a digital version of a module you maybe can't afford yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
To see if...
Yeah, you can mix and match all these things. So like, using like reactor blocks and stuff like that, you can generate control voltages which will come out of this. So you could use this as a kind of bridge to your modular and kind of doing some of the modular stuff in the computer, but coming out through here. Yeah, definitely.
Lovely.
So let's do more sounds, because we talked a lot, and I think it's just very important. Like this sounds,
let's start listening to
really
it.
good.
I'll be playing.
What was the other one? So let's go. If we go like synths, and
preset roulette.
I will go like Boucle Easel, and then there's this one, which is Techno Not 101, which I think sounds like a sort of Kid A B-side. So this is the Boucle Music Easel, which is like an amazing, very expensive little modular synth, which is just like a really cool sort of little sequence. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity to mention the whole layering thing. So this is part 1. If I go to part 2, I can load another preset at the same time. And so let's load the same sort of, same instrument, and I want nostalgia. Tom York now.
Woo.
So it's layering a string with the drum. Like, it's really nice. See what I'm talking about? Like just coming up with ideas as well. Just like. Like shifts as well. Yeah. It's actually, that's also a booklet thing again, the pad is really like completely nuts. In terms of pads as well, I'll go back out to clear and I'll start the process again. You go synths, you can pick instruments, but I'm actually just going to go type of sound, I want a pad, and then you come over here, and then what was the one I wanted? I wanted a counter pad. Okay, so this is the encounter pad from the Matrix 12. Let's do transpose by 2.
You've had a sound to your playing and the stuff, and you found that really quickly.
Yeah.
And it has the same depth to it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I mean, it's. I find it very inspiring. There's a lot of times I'm messing around with this, and I just have ideas for tracks. Like that just happens. Pick anything really, and you can do that. So we go synths.
Can I have a look at some of the? So we've got loads of synth in there. We've also got, like you alluded to, they do really good electric pianos and pianos as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's, especially, there's been a lot of hubbub recently, guys, in like the live keyboard world, looking at things like keyscape and things, and replacing their Nords.
Yeah.
And I think maybe people have overlooked how advanced Arturia are in this area, and you're getting a lot of that sound with this, right?
Yeah, and that's, I think, totally their aim too, is to, this should appeal to everyone. There should be sounds in here that everyone will find interesting. And yeah, exactly right. Like, in fact, actually, if you look at these buttons here, these are kind of, you maybe can't read this, but it says piano, electric piano, organ, pad. These are designed basically so that instead of having to go to the category selector there, I can literally just go electric piano.
What?
And it just instantly categorizes it, just like drills down to the electric pianos. So do you want to have a play? Like,
yeah, jazz time.
This is like a Wurlitzer. Clavinet.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And then yeah, you've got organs as well. So like there's B3 and Farfisa.
Oh, Farfisa one. That's it.
Done.
Like, primary school chords on Farfisa every time.
Exactly. Vox Continental
Black
as well.
Vox, yeah.
If you want to go down, you can go down octaves as well. If you want to get a bit more bass register business. I think I've transposed this, by the way. So if you want that off, and like this.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, go on.
But
go
I
on,
like
go on.
the.
Give it some. Give it the whole pipes going.
Yeah, no, I want to have a little fiddle. So if I hit organ here.
Yeah, so that's then going to drill down to all the organ presets.
Nice.
And again, it's sort of mirrored on the screen.
Standard.
Nice. Then there is sort of keys as well. That takes you into sort of like DX7 vibes as well.
All the ROMs. Oh, no.
This is like the sort of like the classic. It's like 90s, that sort of, it's just so rinsed, like a kind of Disney sort of like sound.
Or like the function room of the Bracknell Hilton, where people are finding love every Friday and Saturday for about £400.
Oh, that's a nice one. This is a mini Mogi. Oh, I know why that's doing that. Is that you change the cutoff, it's changed the pitch. It's because they've mapped the like keyboard to the cutoff. Like
it's actually fun. I got to grab a knob and it did something.
Yeah.
And it's a polyphonic
mini Moog. Like same with the Buchla, like music keys, all this. A lot of those patches, like the strings we were playing before, are polyphonic. That's what the synth itself can never do.
Arturia is so out there at the top of the pile in terms of accuracy.
Yeah.
That you're getting these things that couldn't even exist. Oh, so cool.
Yeah, it goes beyond the original instrument.
Yeah.
Right? And the Buchla is especially fascinating thing to play around with, and it's one of the funnest to mess around with the sliders as well, because you're like, what is that doing?
What turns on about the Buchla? I don't know much about it.
It's just like, but because I kind of don't understand a lot of what it's doing. It's like, it's a really, really sort of like compact, fun instrument to mess around with. And it very much becomes a case of like, when I was playing with the software, I almost immediately was like, I wish I had a real one, because I realized that like messing with that one fader is actually part of the performance. So it becomes all the more relevant that you've actually got some faders, so that you get hands-on. You actually can interact with the instrument in a way that you can't when it's just software.
And that tight integration with the fact that you're making that is the bit that every other controller company falls down on. For me, personally, I know you can't slag them off, but maybe I can. It's that fact that
he's harsh.
Yeah, man. I just want to be real about it. I've tried every other one, and what's nice is I know native instruments are doing their thing where they're trying to put it together, but it doesn't. The pros. But for me, this is really concise, and really based around the sounds. I love the fact that I'm getting. I know that we keep looking at the screen. But I don't.
I like looking
I
at the screen.
haven't had to look at it because I've been.
Yeah, totally. You don't have to. It's just I find it useful for like. This is like a Prophet
hummus and pitta.
It's the hummus pitta. Like this is like what you were saying. Where like I always play my kind of thing. Like this is just totally my kind. Fifths. I just want to have like a sort of blistering 808 under that. Really, it's really like really desolate, sort of like icy ambience. Like, this is what I mean about like genuinely
And it all interfaces
want
with
to
all
write
your
music
gear.
with this sound. Yeah, exactly.
In and out.
Yeah. But I just like the, in a weird way, like that. I know that's exactly the purpose, and it can do that. I almost want to just use, like, I would love to do just a project with just this. In fact, I am writing some music at the moment, so I'm going to be doing like a bunch with Analog Lab, where it's just like get a sound, do it, get a sound, just because it's just all in the aid of writing music more quickly, like not farting around with sound design at the point where you should be writing the music. Because later you can go back and either redo it, like redo the sounds once you've written the parts, or just like open up the GUI and
some of those effects are really you can play into them.
Yeah.
Just to touch on it, so this is a 61 key version. They do
There's a 49 one.
49.
Well. Yeah.
And has the 88 been updated yet or not?
Not yet. No.
Because I've got the older 88.
Yeah.
And I use that every day in the studio.
And so there's basically a 49 and a 61 that we have here. And then there's actually also the Keylab Essential, which we should mention, is the Keylab Essential is basically like not metal, slightly different build, slightly different feeling buttons as well. It doesn't have as many pads, but a lot of the core functionality is the same. And the main point is the software and this kind of browsing.
It's the same.
It's the same, exactly the same software. So if you kind of are like, I don't need like the build quality, like necessarily the sort of feel, the metal. It's really nice. It's a very kind of luxurious thing. It's lovely to have and interact with on a daily basis.
But still very
But you've
reasonable.
got a more affordable option if that's what you want.
Should we play the people out with a few of your favourite presets?
Yeah. So
should we call them out? Because I love some of these names.
Let's. So give me a sec. So I'm going to go synth, and I'm going to go CS80. You know, the old CS80, that little chestnut.
I mean, the thought of that, you've just called that up and something that remotely, even if it was remotely, but it's bang on, isn't it?
But you've got a CS80. Oh. I really like these evocative things. This is like weird. It's got like kind of sort of like energy, like this fizzy sort of John Hopkinsy vibe. Like, do you know what I mean? Where it's really like fuzzy, fizzy sort of sound. And then like I want to layer that with another CS80 preset, and I'm going to go House in the Sky. House in the Sky. Everyone. So that
one day, can someone give me a gig as a preset namer?
And then let's just, what was my thing? Oh, it's just swapping this for like.
It's just amazing what you're getting.
It does not.
It really is filling the room here, and the speed of response to the playing is gone. I'm feeling like I've got maybe I've been stuck in my mindset about 10 years ago. I was gigging with a laptop. And then I sacked it off because I was just fed up with everyone. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it had the response yet. But now we've got like a decent Thunderbolt and all these things.
Like much faster response. Computers are faster as well, so there's like lower latency.
So if you're like me, if you're like a dinosaur, like it really maybe we've got these in the store. This one we're going to be putting out on display.
Yeah, come and buy this actual one that you have touched.
Yeah, exactly. I've soiled it.
And then I just changed the one of the sounds to this Mini Moog soft bells. And because I can only play the white keys again, I'm going to put the semitone. You do not need to know how to play the keyboard. So have fun with the keyboard. An electro album with this. Yeah. Basically, like, we just need an 808 as well.
Exactly, man. Do you want to load me up with one more preset, and then I'd love to have a little play on just a random.
Yeah, man.
On a randomer. Actually, can I just hear the piano?
Yep, of course. So then, basically, you can push preset.
Preset.
So you push this button to drill down.
Yeah.
So it's saying these are the sounds. I want to hear piano sounds or electric piano. And then if you go through, you'll get all. You now only see the piano sounds if you squiddle the.
American, so the German one's going to be, I reckon, a Steinway thing.
Nice.
And if I want to hear a different
push preset again.
Preset.
And then you just turn and push.
What? Japanese, so I reckon it'll be a Yamaha. Oh, yeah.
And then, so these are all running with the, push the big button in, basically.
Oh, it's a push.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
really
that's
nice.
the piano, which you get a full version of, as well as Ableton Live Lite. Which, Live Lite you can load VST instruments into.
Oh man, on my older Keylab, I got a UVI one free with it, and I can remember I had loads of mileage out of the stuff. So this is a new dawn.
If you buy one of these and you don't have any software, you literally don't write music at that point. All you need is a computer, because because the point being, you get Ableton Live,
That's a really good point.
you get Analog Lab, and you get the piano. So it's like, and obviously you're getting 6,500
upgrade
sounds.
to your input, upgrade to the sounds, upgrade to
which is like a complete library of sound and a really nice way of interacting with it.
So, Dad, you might be getting one of these for Christmas.
What a lucky daddy he is.
Thanks, Alex. Cheers, man.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for having me again, as ever.
Word. Just should we play us out? Can we set off like a sequence sound so we can escape?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah. He's even hit the
sequence button. And then let's go category. And I definitely will. It has to.
I don't know. I always want to escape under the cover
It's gonna be a booklet.
of either a demo or a sequenced beat.
Techno for Don Buchler.
Now we're cooking.